Evening all, how the devil? I hope everybody's got the Friday feeling. How's life? Greta's porking right up. That's funny, isn't it? It was that meme where Greta was sitting on a train having like a picnic. Like, ooh, I'll have one of these fine French rolled up cheese things, and there was loads of like starving African kids with flies all over them, so looking through the window. She's definitely put a few clem on, hasn't she? It'll make me laugh if she just turns into a proper heffalump because she's like oh, Baron Harkonnen, like a big fat weirdo with like loads of wealth and riches, spoiled, so doesn't really feel the need to do any exercise or look after herself. Just turns into some sort of reprehensible, baron from some either a science fiction story or a fantasy picture or something. It's like they always turn into all the things they accuse everybody else of. The communists always do. Like whenever they take charge of anything, they always turn into the most corrupt, the most nepotistic, the most cronyistic, the most decadent. It would be amusing if she turns into a stereotype, a 17 clem, like Jeff, except with pigtails, a 17 clem communist activist talking about the decadence and opulence of the elites whilst shoveling 80,000 calories a day to a fucking fat face. That is actually, like happens quite often when I'm ranting away, has led me into something we can talk about that I think I'd actually enjoy. Because it's a point I've made a lot of times and I've never really looked into it. So let's do water production for different foods, because it's made me think. There we go. Bam, there's a nice one straight away. It's made me think of a good point that I don't think people make often enough, right? And I think we're always talking about carbon with relation to travel, aircraft, driving, again, quite interesting, isn't it? I walk as much as I'm possibly able, and I'd maybe drive about, like, no shit, because me and my missus, we walk to the gym, we walk to the supermarket, walk to work, because again, we moved to a small town, we walk loads. I reckon we drive about 12 mile a week. If we're going to buy a load of stuff, we'll drive to the shop. And then every now and then, like let's say once a month, we'll drive to see the mother, or we'll go on a trip somewhere. So maybe average out, it's probably about 100 mile a week or something. In a nice economical Toyota, because we don't drive a gas guzzler. And like I always talk about, I find this whole climate movement so reprehensible because it's obviously a tax on working class people. They've figured out a way where they can convince the general public, not people that follow the angry Bootneck, because they're wise, sensible, logical members of the public, but the general public. They've convinced them that they won't complain about taxes as long as they pin it to climate change. And that is so obvious to people that take an interest in world affairs. It's been the aim from the get-go. It's how can we get more money from these fucking idiots without them complaining too much? And it's so obvious that that's what they're doing. Hello to Rotten Politics as always, how are you doing? And everybody else in the chat, although I can do a bit of a name drop, there's only 100 people in. All the regulars, Whiskey Straight Al's in, my favourite boozer, Jim Flowers, Kev Wright, hello, Two Tones in. In fact, you're all regulars now, aren't you? We've been at this long enough. Matt Oliver, Alex Hunt, Anthony Kirkwood, Zardoz, Doc Chaos. I don't really see any new ones. Nick Yak, Davey Parker's in, Andy Cooper, Ragnar always. No newly new ones. Ollie, Tommy Walker, Danny Ashton, Ollie Ruston, Stu and Stevie Ray. Is your brother in? Can't see him. Dave Lampard, Jim Glass, Mark, everyone. Hello. Anyway, welcome to everyone. I didn't do Oxbridge pleasantries. I normally do if there's less than 100 in the chat. it's so obvious. Lee Evans and the Blue Van Man, how are you doing? It's so obvious that that's exactly what it is. And I find it fascinating, again, that it started to make me think, and I've never been a conspiracy theorist, it started to make me think that the conspiracy theorists are right, again. Like, and I held my hands up. You know, last time I was on Chris Thrall's podcast, maybe 6 months ago or something, I said to him, like, first time I ever talked to you, I aligned with him on almost nothing that was conscientious. Because I've never been a conspiracy theorist. I've always been a man of pure logic. And whenever someone said something to me about the moon landings or 9/11 or anything like that, I've always gone, Occam's razor, because you guys who follow the Bootneck know, I love detective fiction. When I was a little kid, I read all the Sherlock Holmes books. My dad gave me them in an omnibus when I was about 10 because I loved watching detective shows with my dad. And ever since then I was hooked and I've read them all. Agatha Christie, Poirot, I love the more modern ones. I even read J.K. Rowling's Cormoran Strike books because I like detective fiction. I'm always on the lookout for good detective fiction. And you learn a lot of good stuff from it. And Occam's razor always has been a universal truism because it is true. If there's multiple explanations for something, the more simple is usually true because humans tend towards the simple. And I just find it fascinating that the conspiracy theories that I always scorned because I was like, which is more likely? Which is more likely? I'll just do 9/11 to keep it simple. Which is more likely? Jihadis motivated by their religious faith, which will give them the strength of mind to commit suicide quite happily. Jihadis motivated by the religious faith and the US's overt endorsement of Israel, which is fundamentally what almost all of it's about. Seized control of a bunch of planes using box cutters because the passengers assumed that they would always make demands and land the plane. Took us by surprise and killed a bunch of people. Maybe I can see there's a case for saying the government let it happen because they do have a lot of great intelligence. I can be talked into that one. Maybe the government heard it was going to happen and let it happen anyway for their own nefarious purposes. But the idea that it's some sort of like Freemason affiliated George Bush, Osama bin Laden best mates secretly tied together with hundreds of people or in dozens of countries and nobody blabbed. It doesn't make sense. Or chemtrails, you know. The pilots don't know, the aircrew don't know. A bloke has to fill up a plane with dangerous chemicals and nobody asks any questions and nobody blabs and nobody talks. Like, that's why I've never leaned towards conspiracy theories. But the way people are now makes you think the conspiracy theorists are right again. Because you have to be willfully ignorant to not put this together. And it's like, you guys keep telling me about how you're all so well educated. Yeah, the old Basil Rathbone one's a class, Tommy. Absolutely class. I love the occasional bits of sort of old-fashioned bigotry in there as well, where Holmes is like, women, you can't teach them anything, Holmes. You know, that type of thing. But it's mad. Like, I just don't understand it. So, again, I've totally shifted my position. And when people started talking about conspiracy theories, whereas 10 years ago I'd have been like, nah, they're all bollocks, Occam's razor, logic, trying to act like a mentat. Now I'm always like, hey, listen, I'll entertain anything. Because if the last 30 years have taught me anything, it's that you can't trust anybody. This is why we're in the problems we're in. Because the people do not trust the people that run the show. Again, I keep quoting him, Gove, we're all sick of experts. Yeah, they mocked him for it for 12 months. It's the fucking truest thing he's ever said. Because they lie. I mean, a classic example as well. Where's one? I just sent a tweet about it, actually. I was going to talk about this one. Michael Vaughan in this shit again. It's ridiculous. But I just sent a tweet earlier about this. And it's so fucking true. Where is it? Not about this guy. Look, did you guys see this twat? Look at this. I thought this was fiction, but again, it's an actual Microsoft production. Listen to this. Well, you can't hear it. Fucking audio's not working, is it? Oh, well, fuck you then. You can't hear it. But basically, they're like, oh, I'm a straight white man with a fucking stupid haircut. And she's like, I'm a straight white woman. My pronouns are he, a she, and her. I've got long blonde hair. It's like, what world are we living in? Like, has everybody gone mad? Has everybody gone mad? The elites, people that run the world, Bill Gates and his massive global corporation, his Globotron, the governments of the free world, they've all gone fucking mental. They all subscribe to this bollocks. And the whole 95% of the general public are sitting there going, we're living in a clown show. That's why the clown world meme was so good, because that is how everybody feels. Call your parents, anyone watching this, call your dad and say, how are you doing? And he'll go, have you fucking seen the clip of the entire bastard planet? People have lost their minds, lost the fucking plot, completely tonto. The governments, the politicians, the world leaders, the CEOs, the executives, everyone's a fucking idiot. And we're all saying normal people going, I do not understand. So seriously, the angry Bootneck renounces his former chastisement of conspiracy theorists. I'll listen to anything. Because the world's gone fucking mad. The world's gone fucking mad. I don't understand it. Now you cannot trust anything. And the tweet I was talking about there, because it's happened so many times. Do you guys remember that there's a proper dog shit website called I Fucking Love Science? Again, because it's their religion, right? To some degree, I can't put myself in the same box as them, but I fucking love science. And when I was a young lad, you know what I loved when I was in school? Space and the ocean. Those two things, they're so big and they always felt so large to me. Even as a child, I was fascinated by them. I remember being about 8 or 9 in primary school and the teacher saying, who knows the name of our galaxy? And a few people said the Milky Way, they knew that one. And then they said, who knows the closest one? And I said, Alpha Centauri. And I was the only person in the class who got it. This is when I was about 9. And I specifically remember that because I've always loved learning about the colossal. The very, very large and the very, very small fascinates the human mind because we evolve in what Richard Dawkins called Middle Earth, which has got nothing to do with the Lord of the Rings, but it's basically that which you can see and hear. And that's why when you see like a dust mite under a microscope, you're like, yeah, because it's so alien to us. It's why they base the aliens off on the Ridley Scott films on sort of like insects, because when you see something tiny up close like that, it freaks you out. There's something visceral in your monkey brain that goes, whoa, this is fucking horrendous. And the very large is the same. So if it's outside of Middle Earth, you know, squirrels, normal, rats, cats, birds, trees, we're like, yeah, it doesn't really stir much in you. But the colossal and the tiny freak you out and you go, whoa. So I've always loved science. I've always loved learning about it. And yet the woke have turned it into part of their weird quasi-religion. And they have this website called I Fucking Love Science. And they're on Facebook, I Fucking Love Science. And they go on and on and on and on and on and on and on about it. Trust the science, trust the science, trust the science. And then they spew total shit. A bloke like me who's only got like GCSEs sees and goes, yeah, but that's not right, That's not right. Because the mad thing is, again, you can't even trust science. Not because of people like me, because of people like you, communists, who go on about how much you love science, but the second science contradicts anything that could be remotely linked to your ideology, then you go, fuck science. It's like, science, rip, out the window. So don't tell me about anti-science as well. That's another one. They love all anti-fucking science. Like, you lads are anti-science. You don't give a fuck, do you? Yeah, this guy, look, John Cobblepot, having a pop at Tulsi Gabbard because she said it was a good thing that the Republican won in Virginia. And she said, my fellow Democrats, if you want people to vote for you, stop calling millions of Americans dogs. Only dogs respond to dog whistles. Stop trying to divide us by the colour of our skin. End your open borders policy. Treat us all with the respect we deserve as Americans and God's children. Fantastic. And Sadwings hates the Democrats. Shit, you best pray that they fucking throw her out the party because she seems to be the only American Democrat who gets it. And what she gets is exactly, again, you can, because of globalism, it's not that weird. But it's basically identical to Brexit, right? And that's not that weird because we live in a globalist world. Yeah, John Cobblepot, fucking Oscar's brother, yeah. She's the only one who gets it. And it's that telling the voters that they're ignorant and stupid doesn't make them vote for you. I mean, fucking hell, there's an ingenious statement, right? You need to have a degree in political science to come up with that. But seriously, she is the only one who gets it because ever since that loss, they've been going on telly all day, every day, CNN, MSNBC, BBC, anyone who talks about it and said, oh my God, the voters don't understand. This horrible racist bloke, that one who called Jordan Peterson an horrible white man and keeps going on about having a go at Whitey. I don't know his name proper. He's got a really good voice, sort of like James Earl Jones. He's got a really good voice, and I'm assuming that's what's made him famous. God gave him a voice, and he's used it to be a communist. And he was ranting about it. Everyone's a racist. The voters don't understand. Black people are being white supremacists and all this shit. And it's like, these people don't know what they're doing. And it's exactly the same as what happened with Brexit. They just keep saying, you don't know what you voted for. You don't know what you want. You don't know what you need. You don't understand the science. You don't understand the politics. You don't understand why you voted for the guy in Virginia. You don't get it. Let me, the wise black person on MSNBC, tell you what you should be thinking, fellow black people, and normal black mothers and fathers, and Hispanic, and any other, and gay, and lesbian, and female, and any other dog shit, identity politics nonsense you put in front of them. They hear this and they go, I don't care. I don't care that you happen to share an immutable characteristic with me. You're a fucking idiot. And we're the same. Seriously, I mean, how, again, I'm helping them. If they ever watch this, I'm helping the enemy, but let them hear it. Does anybody in the real world who isn't a communist activist vote based off what they happen to look like? Like, you don't do it with eye colour, you don't do it with foot size, you don't do it with hair colour. Why would you do it with gender, sexuality, skin colour, religion? Most of us vote for the person that talks the most fucking sense. And I would never see a communist who looks like me, like Owen Jones, and go, he's pale and got blue eyes like me, so I'll definitely vote for him over the conservative woman. It's so ridiculous. I can't believe I have to say it. Nobody does that. Some religious groups do. There's my caveat, obviously, but fortunately they're in a small minority. But most of us that aren't religious, we vote on the person who makes the most fucking sense. And Tulsi Gabbard seems to be the only Democrat who gets it, who is saying to them, if you want to win an election, you stupid bastards, stop calling the voters thick. Stop saying to them, you didn't understand it. You didn't know what you were voting for. Nah, racist dog whistle. And all the black and brown and anything else, gay and women and blah fucking blah. Just go, this is total shit. Do you think I've got the IQ for fucking sausage roll? Of course I'm going to vote for the bloke who isn't a communist because he's the only one talking sense and telling me my children don't belong to the state and telling me that a fucking bloke with a lob on can't just toss a kilt on and then wander into the girls' room and start fucking humping them all. Who do you think they're going to vote for? They're not going to go, oh yeah, but hang on, I'm a woman and she's a woman, so I'll definitely vote for her even though she says total fucking horse shit all the time. I mean, Jesus Christ, it's mental. It's mental. So I don't get it. And look at this dumb twat. Stop using racist code if you want us to stop using the term dog whistle. Click on his profile. What do you see? Well, you know what you fucking see. Look. almost 40, anti-Trump, pro-science, anti-intellectualism is awful. Oh, really? Yeah. Course it fucking is. Course it is. A bloke who practices anti-intellectualism aggressively, the second political ideology is involved. And because of the far left, who say the personal is political and everything's political. Everything's political. What you eat, political. What you drink, political. Where you go on holiday, political. What you read, what your music you listen to, where you work out, political, political, political. So therefore, pro-science anti-intellectualism, unless it contradicts my political ideology, you're not pro-science, because the second science is involved that contradicts the insane shit that you've come out with, you go, science, burn the book. There were book burning. Book burning in Canada. Fucking Google that. These people are book burning fascists. Commie, weirdo. I mean, I know you're getting the lines blurred there, but you can be an authoritarian, commie, far left fucking dipshit and basically be about that far away from doing the shit Mussolini was doing, and that's what they're doing. Book burning. The people who call themselves pro-science are burning books. So that's what I told the thick twat. Here, mate, change your bio. Pro-science unless it contradicts communist political ideology, at which point, fuck science. That is the modern left. And that's why they keep losing. And that's why Britain is fucked. Which, I'm going back to an old statement I've made. You're in the shit in Europe. Because in America, we've still got a right wing. We've still got conservatives. Ted Cruz, Marco Rubio, Trump. Fuck it, there's loads of them. And we've got libertarian centrists like Tulsi Gabbard on the other side of the aisle, whose voice will get louder when they finally figure out the fucking obvious. So we're going to do all right. Biden's going to be out on his ass. Probably replaced with Kamala, who is about as likeable as nailing your fucking scrotum to the kitchen table. I'd rather do that than have a short conversation with Kamala Harris. The cackling she-witch. Answers every question. Vice President. She sounds like fucking Wario. That was my Wario impression. So Wario is going to shit the bed for the Democrat Party. And we're in a better place across the pond than you lads are. Because you're fucked. The Conservatives have gone woke. The Conservatives won't condemn book burning, statue destruction, historical revisionism, smearing the working class. The Tories will not direct funds and resources to the people that need it the most, white working class on free school meals, because they're the wrong colour. And they've got a massive majority, so you're fucked. Maybe the French will be the first one to tip the scales. I'll be surprised. If Le Pen gets in, I'll be surprised. So Europe's in the fucking shit worse than we are, and that's politics. You have to play the long game. You might think, oh, we've got a conservative government, we're doing all right, matey. No. UK's seriously in the fucking shit. This shower of shite we've got running the show over here they're already dead, they just don't know it yet. But UK all of Europe is in the midst of a serious shitstorm. The European Union has got a stranglehold on power, and I don't know if we've got the will to get out of it. And that was just another tweet I put out. Yeah, I mean, it's so true, isn't it? Because they've rebranded their ideology as social justice. Like I've talked about before, right? I've given you guys the 60-second version of fucking political theory, but basically, they realised that all of the workers turned into capitalists the second they got to about 35 and they had some capital. And as soon as all those hard-working people had mortgages and cars and promotions, they all turned into capitalists. So the fucking commie said, shit, we have to rebrand. I know, if we get everybody under the intersectional umbrella, women, gay, lesbians, fucking brown, tanned, Muslim, Hindu, Sikh, anything they could think of that wasn't straight white man. If we can get all of them and rub out communism and put wokeism, it'll sound dead nice and happy and go lucky, and everyone will go for it. It'll be brilliant. It's as subtle as that. And there is the statement I wanted to make about it. That is summed up in a sentence. Nobody thinks if you hate fascists or racists, you hate like straight white men. But because they've rebranded, apparently if you disagree, like they've just done to Tulsi Gabbard, that Cenk Ugger on the Young Turks calling Tulsi Gabbard a fucking Nazi, right? As soon as you disagree with lefty ideologues or full-blown communists, they go, yeah, that's because you're a racist, sexist, homophobe. Again, racist, sexist, homophobe. No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. You don't know what you're talking about. It's not even logical. It's not even remotely logical. I'm disagreeing with you because you don't know the first fucking thing about human nature. If you think we can motivate people to still keep creating things, to still keep creating food and running water and working sewage systems, if you're going to take from the people that try the hardest and give it to the people that try the least, you can't have equality. Because some people are fucking lazy and some people are really, really hard working. That is it. In 2 minutes. You don't need to get the books out. You don't need to do what all the leftists love doing on YouTube and going, let's have a debate and I'll quote clever people to you. I don't care. That's just common sense. You don't need to be an Ivy League professor with 2 degrees. You just need to know human nature. And if you're going to start penalising me and taking everything off me to give it to people that are fucking lazy and useless, I'm not working anymore. I'm not doing it. I'll stick my thumb up my arse, sit under a tree, and I will fucking starve myself half to death because I'm that much of a stubborn bastard. And all you need to understand that is a basic grasp of human nature. All you need to have done is gone to school and done any form of basic experiment where the scientists, where you get put in a group and there's 4 of you in a group and you're all sharing the grade and one person starts being a fucking lazy bastard. How fast do you hate them? Very quickly. And you think everyone's going to keep working and keep producing and keep chasing that promotion and keep paying the taxes so we can have 20% of the country who just can't work, won't work? Lazy, bone-idle, Mick Philpott motherfuckers, of which I know dozens personally. I knew them at school, we knew. If the mother and father were chavs who'd never worked, we knew they weren't going to. And a few of them have managed to crawl out. One of my good mates, Wes, has actually got a fucking job, which surprised me. But most of them, if they've come from scum, they beget scum. Scum begets scum begets scum. Is that a biblical quote? Fuck knows. But if your mother and father didn't work for 35 years, guess whose kids won't work? Guess who's going to be a grandmother at 37? Yes, Fat Chav. Because Fat Chav has Fat Chav daughter, and Fat Chav daughter does what Fat Chav did and has 12 kids by the time she's 30. Eventually in Glasgow, I guarantee it'll be the first place in the world, Glasgow, there'll be a fucking 38-year-old great-great-grandmother. Because it's going to be knocked up at 12, knocked up at 12, knocked up at 12, bosh. That's what we're going to end up with. Chav begets, and so saith the Lord. Chav begets chav begets chav. And everybody knows it. The working class know it, which is why Owen Jones, who writes books called things like Chavs, sell millions, but only to other middle-class arseholes. Because we, the scum that live in the council estates, we are the ones who know these people. You go to work every day, you're a fucking scaffolder or a labourer on a building site, and there's always a family in the street who everybody fucking laughs at because they do nothing. And they will never do anything. And middle-class arseholes and rich twats love to read these books that make themselves look progressive and informed and caring. We worry about the poor, don't you know? You don't. You're virtue signalling. You know fucking nothing. So fuck them. And you always run out of other people's money, sad wings, because everybody gets lazy or moves. The people that are working class themselves just refuse to work out of spite, and the rich people all fuck off to Barbados, Bermuda, wherever it is they go, the Cayman Islands. Yeah, so it doesn't work, and you'll starve us all to death. Do now till 2024. Good idea, Sadwings. Fuck them. I was tempted myself. I was tempted, but you know, I could sit on my ass. I could definitely do it. I'm very low maintenance, but I do get bored when I'm doing nout. So yeah, maybe. At least because I'm British, I've got more time for income tax than you have, because we just pay a shitload. Like I said, I got a bonus when I was in the UK. I got like a £6,000 bonus, and I got about half of it. It's like I'm not even earning a large amount of money. My flat rate was 30 grand a year. I got a fucking 5 or 6 grand bonus on top of it, and the government took half of it. It's like I'm not exactly earning fucking pop star wages. If you're only earning 30 odd grand a year, why the fuck are the government taking half your money off you? but they did. So yeah, I've got more time for income tax than you, I think. Anyway, I've only got 5 minutes left because I promised my missus I'd take her out. So let's quickly talk about what I was going to talk about, because this you'll see the logic. Food's big water footprint, right? This quick one. All the activists, fat knackers. All of them. Woke, birds, fat knackers. They all write things like why we're proud of our fat bodies, yeah? Honking bits of kit, 400 pounds of chewed bubble gum. They all have a body like a puss's Arctic sleeping bag filled with fucking ice cream. A bin liner full of coleslaw. These people who gob off about your climate footprint, let's think about this. So we're discounting planes, trains and automobiles. We're discounting travel and Humvees, all of which the rich people drive. Let's just talk about food. So California's got all these big droughts because California makes everything, right? Water footprint of common food items. So steak, which everybody loves talking about, you need 674 gallons of steak, of water to create 6 ounces of steak. So that's mad, isn't it? Think of that. Like hamburgers, yeah, but look, everyone goes on about meat, right? And these lefty bastards haven't put the other things on there, which is vegan stuff. Oh my God, it's not on there. The sneaky bastards. Look, it's not on there. They've just put beef, hamburger, ham, eggs, soda, coffee, wine, salad. I'll tell you what, I'll Google almonds. Because the point I want to get at is this. Almonds water usage. There, look. To grow one fucking almond. Because this is what the vegans love, innit? Nut cutlets. I'm not having a turkey. I want some nut cutlets. It takes staggering amounts. And to grow one almond requires 1.1 gallons of water. So think of this. It's actually better for the environment to just have a little steak, because it'll fill you up, than it will to have whatever amount of fucking almonds you need to eat to fill you up. So my hypothesis, the point I'm getting at, is, yeah, there we go. So grow one almond, 1.1 gallons of water. The point I'm getting at is, if you're fat, I thought this when I was watching Jordan Peterson get grilled about it in Australia. Big fat bird like that. Ew. I heard you eat a lot of steak. That's bad for the environment. No, because I eat about 1,000 calories worth of steak a day, fatty, and you're smashing 12,000 calories a day into you. Your fucking climate footprint is 10 times bigger than mine. Tubbs. You need more petrol on the fucking plane. You need to put more petrol in your car to drag your 400-pound fucking land mammal mass about. You eat 5 times what I do. Don't tell me that I'm fucking the planet. I'm fit, I walk everywhere, I eat a small amount of calories. Buffalo ass does nothing but consume, filling her fat face with pints of Ben and Jerry's, not walking anywhere, and not fucking doing any exercise. So there is your climate change argument. Stuff it up your fucking hoop, fatty. If you are 300 pounds plus, you don't have the right to tell me about being bad for the environment, and you never will do. Hannibal Lecter, the writer. What? Eat people, lower your carbon footprint. Winner. Right, thanks for watching. I'm going to have to bugger off because I told my missus I would be done by 22. Thanks for watching. Paz, hi, bye. I've got to bugger off. Okay? Have a good weekend. I'll see if I can make a video at some point. And yeah, I'll be back shortly. Enjoy yourselves. Get pissed. And remember, fuck them all. See you soon. Cheers.